am not going to present. What I'm going to do, I'm going to have a conversation with everyone today. Today's Health Day, and we have a healthy body equal what? Who know the team? What connections have you made? Who wants to tell me what connection they have made? Because we're saying these things, but do we know what we are really doing? Have we made a connection? From morning until now, there must be some connection. Yes? Okay, awesome. All work together. It's almost like the fruit of the Spirit or like the three in one. All right, awesome. So we're starting to warm up now. For all, let me see the men. Could you all stand just now? Men, though the men are few this evening, I'd like to say Happy Men's Month. Take care of yourself, take care of your children, take care of your family. God loves you. Blessed month. Know your numbers. So today I just want to let you know that your blood pressure is important for you to know, and we can do this at least once yearly. Let me see the hands of anyone here who knows their blood pressure. Awesome. But I was expecting to see all the hands. So now you know that we're doing something wrong. We should all know our blood pressure at least once or twice per year. It is very essential because that is how we are going to detect any changes in the body and to start acting on it. Now, this morning I heard Pastor tell us something about him when he going to the doctor, got him prescription, and him just fold it up. I don't want you all to do that. If we're not going to purchase a prescription medication, there is something in your kitchen, and there's something right outside for you. So we need to act, and there's also a prayer. With everything, we need God. We need Jesus' intervention. After all, the greatest physician that ever lived or ever came to the earth was Jesus. All right? What is a good number to have? You should be anywhere between 120 over 80 to 129 over 89. All right? So it is awesome. What about our cholesterol levels? Are we having the fried foods, whether it be healthy food or not? Are we having a lot of oils? We need to know what is this doing to our arteries, and so we need to know what our value. Who here knows their cholesterol value? It seems like we need to do some work. Remember that even though you're looking healthy, feeling healthy, we need to do our once yearly checks. Do a full blood testing. That is the only way we'll know when the body is deficient of something or something is going wrong to start effecting change. All right? So now I am a little disappointed because, to tell you a quick story, to just pause right here, I started going after natural or alternative medicine because while working in the emergency room, I saw many of my church brothers and sisters coming in coma because of uncontrolled blood pressure and diabetes and high cholesterol levels. Remember, we have the Bible and we have all the Adventist book. I met another Adventist about 2 weeks ago and she had all our literatures. She's a vegan. She's following everything to the T. what about us? It's our message, right? Or is it our message? So we should not be seeing so many of us in the emergency room because we don't know what is happening with our own bodies. All right? The other number, there are 4 numbers, and the Ministry of Health is always mentioning them. Anybody can help me with the other 2? Remember, it's a conversation we're having. The other 2 numbers, what are they? So I went through blood pressure, blood cholesterol. What are the other 2 numbers? Your blood sugar level. Who here knows what their blood sugar level should be without you having anything to eat? The brother here is a little bit closer and more correct than all. It should be more than 3.9 and less than 5.6. That is what your blood sugar level should be. Your cholesterol level, I did not disclose what it should be, but it should be less than 5 millimoles per liter. But how will we know this value? We have to be checking it. We have to be checking to know. Once yearly, they do it at the health center, your private doctor if you have insurance, or private clinics, you can have it done. Please, sisters and brothers, have it checked out. Health fairs will be going around soon, and so the Ministry of Health will also offer all these for free, including PSA testing for the men who don't like the finger. There's no sideline to it. Even when you do that blood testing and it is high, we still have to see what is the consistency of the prostate gland. So you have to really go and do your testing. What I can say, choose a female and choose a female with a slim finger. That's what I can say. What about our weight? What about our weight? Let me pick another speaker for today. What's your weight, please? Yes. It's not working. Is that another answer to say, you're not sure, at this point? But okay, I'll allow him off the hook. We should know our weight, it's by height. And this is an easy way I teach people to do it. Once you're on the scale, for the pound, say you're 120 pound and your height is 123 centimeters, what you're gonna do is minus the weight, the height from the weight, right? So it's 123 pounds, 120 centimeters. It means you're over by 3 pounds. Using that method, you can never go wrong with your body weight. So that's a simpler form of doing it. They have some multiply things squared and all of that. No, this is another easy way. You get the same answer. Just minus that from that, and you know when you're underweight, overweight, or normal weight. So your weight should actually be 18.5 to 24.5 kilogram per meter squared. Yes, that is the normal value. I'm going to ask you these again. Please bear them in mind. Do you want me to repeat the 4? What are the 4? Blood pressure, blood sugar, blood cholesterol, the mass index, BMI, which include knowing what your weight is. The normal values I won't stress you with, but I will ask you what the 4 are. So please do pay attention. I'm going to throw some scriptures at you this evening, and please do let me know where they're taken from. I can do what? Some things. All things through Christ who strengthens whom? Me. Right? Where is it taken from? 4 verse. Awesome. We're awake. We didn't eat too much. God did not give me a spirit of fear, but of power and love and of a sound mind. Where is it taken from? Oh dear. So you have until the end of the presentation to come up with that one. I walk by faith. Where is it taken from? It's all essential to all of what is going to be presented. So we're going to need to find the scriptures and let us know from the different versions of the Bible where they're taken from. All right? God will never leave me. Yes. Awesome. So because we are going to be talking about health, we need to remember all these. Why we need to remember them? Because God gave us his promise and he will take care of us in any sickness that comes our way. So we need to know where they're taken from and really reflect on them. Yes, correct. And so we have walk by faith, what not by sight, and all the others. All right, so this evening we're going to focus on two main topics, hypertension, diabetes. What, Colossians 3, verse 16 to 17, could someone find that and read it for me, please? Colossians 3, 16 to 17. And yes, I'm going to ask for a lot of volunteers because I will be demonstrating some stuff like say how to take your blood pressure and how to take your blood sugar. So you can just, get ready in the seat to come up and have that demonstration done. Colossians 3, verse 16 to 17 states, yes.
Do all in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God and the Father by him.
Awesome. So in all health, all these scriptures I'm quoting has something to do with our health, how we respond to hearing some bad news, whether it's a cancer, whether it's a high blood pressure, whether it's a loss of a relative, whether we're going to lose a limb, etc. That is how it is going to be related. And so now we're delving into the matter. High blood pressure or hypertension, it is nothing more than high volume, right? That is sustained in the vessels. And these vessels take blood towards and away from the heart. And the values should be between 120 to 129 over 80 to 89 millimeters of mercury. All right? So in a nutshell, that is what high blood pressure is. What is high blood sugar? What is diabetes? It is a chronic metabolic condition in which the hormone insulin is being produced by the pancreas and it is insufficient in the quantities, or the quantities produced is not utilized by the body. So something's going wrong in that body. Hence why I am saying it is very important to know all your numbers, because all the four numbers contribute to either high blood pressure, diabetes. Yes. Going along, what are our risk factors? Do we know? Or do we know what Jamaica is looking like? What's happening in Jamaica with high blood pressure? Anybody know? So the Ministry of Health reported in the Health Lifestyle Report that it's the most chronic condition that is managed by any physician across the 14 parishes. The data also showed that 34% of persons were found to have a high blood pressure, and the years 15 and older were the most affected. And 40% of the population was found to be unaware of this number. So they're going around and they're checking their blood pressures, and you didn't know that you have high blood pressure. So I don't want it to happen to our church members that they're coming around to check our blood pressures, and we never knew that we had high blood pressure. We can effect change at an early stage, prevent the organs from being damaged, and so I implore you, just have your pressure checked and have the values interpreted properly to you. It might only be a diet change. Just change something around in your diet. Either lessen the salt or lessen the carbohydrates. One or the other will help. What was also alarming is that 70% of the persons diagnosed were placed on medication, but only 30% of them were actually taking it, and they are controlled. What does that mean? It means that we're not taking the medications properly, right? Are we like pastor who got our medication and never filled them, our prescription? No. But we could try something else. There are some herbs, and we know them. We have garlic. You know garlic help a lot? Yes. And we have clove. Oh yes, it can use the seasons of meat and any pot. We have them at home. We have ginger. We have fresh air. Just get up in the morning and just deep breathe. You see? So you really don't have to buy the prescription medication, you know. But you have to effect some change. Make a move. Start to do something. All right? Not just let it stay there. What are the different symptoms of having high blood pressure? Anyone want to share? Headaches. Okay. What else? Flashing light. Hair is ringing. And some people would come to the clinic, including my church brothers and sisters. Doc, I only take it when the head feel away. What is that way? Is it the way when the pipe is about to burst? Are you setting up yourself to have a brain bleed? No. We need to adhere to our medication or our herbs. And these are right in your kitchen and right outside. Get up in the morning, breathe some fresh air, meditate on God's word, and it will effect change. Since I've been doing natural medicine, high blood pressure is linked to a broken heart. Who knows about the scriptures that speak to that? A cheerful heart, right? So if it's broken, it means that something is going to be wrong. So what I do, I explain to the persons, something went wrong. We are broken because of a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, a husband, a child. Yes. A co-worker, a job, or just losing a part of the body. So we have to now find out what has caused our pressure to be high. Because some people, you give them medication from now till tomorrow. Pressure remain high, right? They call them persistent hypertension. But guess what? Once they get a doctor to sit down with them and have that talk about what can be the factors leading to this. Could it be not enough rest, like Pastor alluded to? Could it be too much food? Is the stomach going on or too much pressure? What is it? We need to pinpoint what is the cause of your high blood pressure. So instead of just getting that prescription medication, it is good for you to sit down with someone, a counselor, preferably a doctor or professional trained, and to go through all the different possible causes of why your pressure is elevated. Okay? So you can have acute chest pain acute heart failure, kidney injuries, and also renal impairment from having an elevated blood pressure. If you should have had any of these symptoms, please don't wait more than a day to see your doctor. You need to do an ECG. This is where you check the heart and also blood test to check it out. You could be leading up to having a stroke or severe hemorrhage in the brain. So please do not delay and seek care. There are different stages of high blood pressure, but I won't bore you with those. Once you're above 120 to 129, over 80 to 89, you have high what? What do you have? High blood pressure. All right? So just know those values. All the other values are irrelevant at this time because we want you to be within the normal range. God people should be healthy, and you said you want you to be in what? Good health, right? And prosper. So we are aiming for the normal limit. What? 122 over? Awesome. I have a bright crowd. How do we take the blood pressure now? Could we have someone to demonstrate? What should happen? But we can go through the parts until those volunteers come. What should we have it considered? Were you walking briskly? Were you working very hard just now? Is the sun too hot? Have you sat down to rest for 5 minutes? What is happening? Should it be done on the left or the right arm? To be honest, the most precise reading is on the left arm, but it can be done on any arm. The most important thing is that during taking this blood pressure, there should be no talking. Just relax, picture somewhere nice, or just do some deep breathing. That's all we need to do. It sounds simple, right? And your foot should be flat on the ground, not crossed. Elbows should be supported somewhat, so the person taking the blood pressure should either support their arm or rest it, just let it rest on their lap, right? That is what should be done. It's an empty chair. So how far above the elbow should the cuff be? If we are unsure, just put out your fingers. Make sure it is above the elbow crease. Should it be too tight? Just one finger to be admitted beneath the cuff. This cuff should be adequately sized. A child cuff would not be the same cuff as an adult cuff. So if your cuff is incorrect, then you are working to have an incorrect reading. So who is taking your blood? Lord.
Okay.
All right, so knowing all that we knew, now we are going to give an evaluation to the person taking the blood pressure. Right? Did we hear all the steps to take? So you have to introduce yourself. You have to have a conversation, a mini conversation, because we don't know if he was running outside. We don't know if he was working. Was the sun hot? Were you exercising? What were you doing? Did you have a cup of decaffeinated coffee? Because we don't drink caffeine, right? We're doing is it dandelion seed? Or we're doing date seeds. That is an option. It's a replacement to persons who have an addiction to caffeine. Those two are healthy alternative to use. All right, so where are our volunteers today? The blood pressures for the two volunteers here. We need 2 persons to do the blood pressure. Another thing to remind you, how much salt should you use? If you have high blood pressure, how much salt? No, man, you don't read the Bible. Tell them again what it said. You will lose its savor, right? Yes. Wherewith shall it not be salted? No, don't let anybody tell you that. A pinch of salt is good. I give my blood pressure patient salt. But it's the amount and how to take it. There's a twist to it. The different type of salts is important. So Celtic salt, sea salt, Himalayan salt. But it's still in moderation. Most of our seasonings have salt, and some of the food already have their natural salts. So 1,500 milligrams of salt per day for those persons with high blood pressure. Those without high blood pressure can have up to 2,300 milligrams, all right? Once we are guided by the Bible, we will never go wrong, you know. We will never go wrong. So, ready, set, and who is starting the blood pressures? Please. Oh, you want me to start it? So who's going to evaluate me? I like this sister over here. Could I have you as a volunteer to come and take her blood pressure, please? Following all the steps that I've just given. And we'll be grading, the conversation will be grading. Congregation, you should be grading. No, but nurse know how to do it already. You should learn how to do it at home. If you have a medical emergency, a friend, a sister, a brother, a daughter, would you not know how to do your blood pressure? It's important that we learn. So I'm going ahead while we all get prepared to teach us how to do our blood pressure. We're going to head to diabetes. Okay, go ahead. I gave a range. Everyone, so by age group, this is for adult. This is adult blood pressure. The children, they fall in a different category. So they have pediatric blood pressure. And those reading are specific to age and weight. All right? All right, we're going to start just now. Okay, so Brother Graham is asking, should it be placed over the shirt? If the shirt is thin enough and breathable, that's the only time. If it has any bulk in it, no, we do not advise. But preferably, please expose the arm. Okay? But at this time, that's a good question. Whomever asked that question was correct to ask it. So nurse is doing another demonstration. Awesome. Teamwork make the dream works. So nurse did her check. Did nurse find out if he had any activities prior? Did he have any teeth? So his hand now need to be relaxed or rested. It can be rested on the leg, but I prefer a firm surface. If you don't have one, you can use the other arm and you can support, yes. The person taking the blood pressure can support the arm at the time. The patient should be relaxed, taking deep breath in and out. Remind them no talking during the process. We're focusing on taking the blood pressure this time, not the value we're getting. So we're just taking the blood pressure. Any other questions about high blood pressure at this time? The body pressure? No. The body temperature is the Celsius or Fahrenheit, or the temperature that the body exhibits based on the different action, the different environment or time. And a thermometer is normally used to determine it should be below 36.6, otherwise above, you would be classified to be having a fever. And the high blood pressure is a circulatory involvement where it involves the vessels returning and taking blood to and from the heart. And you use a device called a manometer or a blood pressure machine to take the blood pressure on the arm. Or it can be done at the wrist and other parts of the body. So for the digital blood pressure machines, it should actually time you off. If you have a manual one, that could work. Just that you would need a stethoscope and you would need a trained personnel, whether it's an MT, a nurse, or a doctor to use that one. I'm not sure why this is not reading as yet. But awesome, it is completed. Was the process okay? Is this the process I explained? Was this the process I've explained? Was there any? Was the process okay here? Did we know? No, in this setting, the patient might not be relaxed. This is not a setting to check the value. As I said, it's to check how to do it. Because in a setting, you should have a calm, no noise. It should be free from all distractions. So we're not going to evaluate whether or not. Go ahead.
Is it easier to bring up or to take down professionally?
Well, can somebody else help me to answer that question? Because that question doesn't really need me. What is easier to do, Brother Graham? Increase your blood pressure or decrease your blood pressure?
Easy if you go up.
Awesome, yes. It's easier to increase the blood pressure than to decrease it.
I'm coming from that premise.
Yeah, man, I'm aware.
Right.
However, a person who suffers from low blood pressure is not just low blood pressure. There's some other underlying cause. It could be that your blood count is low. It could be so many other things. Endocrine disorder, something that is not yet found out. However, they are precautions that we give. And we always recommend that you do a thorough study an examination of that person to understand why. However, if one should have low blood pressure, there are some techniques to learn. But at this time, we're focusing on the high. So let us catch on the low before. There are techniques such as elevating the legs above the head, having some smelling salt, having some Pedialyte or just rehydration salt on you just to take a sip for you to increase the pressure. But you need thorough examination because some persons are found to have a thyroid disorder where the thyroid gland is not functioning properly, and that is what caused them to suffer from a low blood pressure. Others have a low blood count, meaning their CBC level is lower than 6. All right, so anemia is one of the factors that cause that. All right, so now we're heading into diabetes, and we know what that was, a metabolic disorder. And this also comes from our eating. What do we put on our plate? All these bread, all these carbs, these are what are causing the issue. All right? In Jamaica, what is happening? Do we know what is happening in Jamaica? It is causing an havoc in the health system. Why? Why do we think diabetes can also lead to you losing what? Yes. And so it also causes a higher burden than high blood pressure because now you have to find a prosthetic limb. You have to remodel the home to now accommodate that person without that ankle, that foot, that limb, or those limbs. All right? So that is why it is such a burden to the health system and to families and to mental health. It is found that the prevalence of diabetes has increased by 41.1%. That doesn't sound good, right? With the age 15 to 74-year-old holding the highest rank that has been classified here. It is found that more women than men have diabetes. This could also be due to the fact that men don't like to go to the doctor, you know. They said they're going to watch it, but the female would now more likely go. Or we don't have any men in here like that, right? Or men will go to the doctor. Awesome. All right. But go to one doctor, because there's another doctor to go to. There's Dr. Jesus. All right? So ensure that we at least attend a doctor. What I'd also like to tell you is that there are several different types of diabetes. There are type 1 diabetes, type 2, gestational, and other metabolic or we'd call it anomaly type, where there's a malfunction or malformation of that pancreas that's located on the left side. Something is not properly formed or not being produced. Gestational diabetes only develop in pregnancy. So if you're not pregnant, you don't have to worry about this type. But if you're a young adult, you can have type 1 diabetes or young babies and children. Type 2 diabetes is really from what? Lifestyle. Yes, that is why all the 4 were important. You know, what were the 4? Blood pressure, blood sugar, blood cholesterol, and our body mass index. Whatever we put on the plate, that is what is causing us to get this diabetes. Our plate, whatever we're eating from that plate that we prepare, that is what is causing the issue. Some common symptoms. Who know any? Hold on. Some common symptoms of diabetes. Yes, awesome. Any other? So yes, numbing sensation, paresthesia. They have they're very easily what? Hungry, yes, polyphagia. Awesome. Increased thirst, polydipsia. Blurred vision, the lethargy. So we all know them, right? But guess what? Not everybody gets all of these, you know. They might only get two. But this is why we should do our annual checks, know our numbers, know what is happening with our bodies. All right, guys? So who else is going to have their checks done this year? Let me see the show of hands. Will have their checks done before December 2020. Only one hand? So we don't want to know anything about our health? Oh my gosh. We're going to do all the four numbers. So we know. And they're available for free. And we could all arrange something that the ministry can donate some cholesterol rapid kits, etc. And we just have a day where we check all the brothers and sisters. All right? All right, awesome. Galatians 5, verse 22 to 23. What does that say? Pastor the preacher spoke about it this morning. What are they? Galatians? The fruits of the Spirit. How do you think these all relate to health? Do you think they're related? Okay, awesome. So, but the fruit of the Spirit is love. Do we have love? Are we loving each other? Do we love our neighbor as ourselves? Do we love others as Christ loved the church? So these are things to reflect on. And if we don't have love, that means we're going to lead to having one of the diseases, you know, because if you don't have love, something is going to bubble up and become toxic for you. And so you're going to be sick. So you have to pay attention. Joy and peace. This is therapy, you know, joy and peace. If you are at peace, you cannot have high blood pressure, you know. So let us think. Is it that my blood pressure is because I don't have any peace? Is it that my blood pressure is because I don't have any joy? We need to just do some introspection and work on that, right? What about the others? I feel like I'm talking now. I want to invite Speaker Henry to come beside me. I like to hear I want a little joke to spice up the evening. So I'd like you to join here. Please, might I ask? Long suffering. It means that you're going to suffer a lot. Speaker Henry, does that mean that you're going to suffer a lot? We're going to suffer long? Wow, is that what it means? We're asking Speaker Henry now to answer that part because everybody have their own interpretation. I like to hear his, and he's going to laugh, right? We heard the laughter today. Can somebody replicate it? I can't.
What was it? I don't even know what was said. What was said earlier?
Fruit of the Spirit.
Oh, the
We're
fruit
now
of the
at long
Spirit.
suffering.
Oh, almost a mango. Long suffering. No, I mean, it has to do with your patience, our patience with each other. How we deal with situation. Some of us don't have our fuse very short. And some of us don't have any fuse. So as somebody does something, we fly off. And we just want to do away with them. And that always sometimes happens in marriage. You know? Patience is not, Brother Graham, I touched that Graham, mercy. Ah, Jesus. But long suffering has to do with patience. It's one of the fruit of the Spirit, not true? Patience, long suffering. How we bear long, how we bear with one another. We must be willing to forgive. You know, forgiveness.
And how does that affect the health?
I was going to say that forgiveness, unforgiving spirit makes you sick. It affects your heart. It affects your mind. It affects the entire body. So watch this now. If I have this, if Doc may have done something, I think she had done me something. She did something wrong to me. And I don't go to her and say, Doc, you know, you said something and it offended me. But I keep it within myself. And every time I see her, I get upset. While she's happy-go-lucky. My pressure will go up, you know. Not true? So could it be sometimes the reason our pressure are up this because we're not forgiving? And when you forgive, it does not just hurt the person you forgive, you know. You benefit more from forgiving. So that's why God put it there. In the, a fruit of the Spirit. Joy. You must be happy. Not true, Doc?
Yes.
When you're happy, doctor don't see you, know.
Doctor don't need to see you.
No need to see because well, I don't know. But I like to be happy. I like to smile. If my toe buck, I'm laughing. If my head hurt, I'm laughing. Yes. You know, I broke my toe once and I was laughing. I want to pain and rock. I said, Michael, you broke off your toe. I said, you know, see, you idiot. I said, sorry. I was just talking to myself. Telling myself I don't have any sense. Because I broke my toe. It was my fault. Joy is a reason why God put them in there. Everything that Doc is saying, the fruit of the Spirit is to help us to live longer. Amen. We finish now, we can go now.
Yes. Faith in God, goodness, gentleness, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. And all of these together, I'm going to allow my brother to speak in a minute. Remember faith in God. You're diagnosed with a cancer. God can give you those herbs, give you direction to help you get relief. Or maybe it's trying to make sure that you make it to the kingdom. So it's your time. We don't know what it means for everyone. It will have a different meaning for each of us. All right? You can go ahead.
Yes, doctor. Exactly 1 month ago, I went to the clinic, which our age group visits, and when my pressure was taken, it was 200 over 100. 200 over 100. And today, when I start taking medication, it's 146 over 86.
That's an improvement.
Yes, ma'am.
Great improvement. What in the heart is broken? Some broken heart happened. Who broke your heart? So is it Jack and Jill who went up the hill? Yeah. All right, so the different values we should know at the different times. We can all find these online, but I can give you an example. If you're type 2 diabetes, 2 hours after having your meal, you should be somewhere between 47 millimoles per liter, and at least 90 minutes after your meal, you should be under 8.5 if you're a type 2 diabetic person. And it has to do with meals, because if you had nothing to eat, you should be in normal value. But if you had something to eat, these value can increase. So therefore, once you're taking the blood pressure, it's important to note what was the last time you had a meal or anything you have ingested is important. It can affect your values and give you a false reading. You ever heard people say that doctors say them diabetic and them not diabetic? But guess what? It means that they haven't given doctors all the information. They didn't say, I just had a meal. Any of those, the doctor said, no, something is wrong, you need to go do a blood test. So you do more testing when you had ate. So you should have said it to the doctor so they'll know, because the interpretation of these values is also related to this. And especially with these clinics around that have so many patients, I will tell you, brothers and sisters, write down the things, know what you're taking, know what tests you did, keep copies of them. It's not the doctor you're helping, It's yourself that you're helping. And it's important to stay in good health and stay abreast of your health. It's very important for us to do that. All the persons who are diabetic here, please take note. You can have micro and macrovascular changes. This is the small vessels that you can't really see and the large vessels that you hear about. And these changes can bring about blindness, silent heart attacks, right? The paresthesia, are you having just needle and stick in the fingers and the toes? Okay? So we need to make sure our blood sugar level is at rest. Yes, there are herbs that can take care of your blood sugar, Oh, yes. Herbs for all of what I have said today. And some of them are right in your kitchen. Let us see who is using cinnamon. But guess what the difference is? Why you need guide in taking these is because there's a quantity of these that you now need to take in order to effect change in the blood sugar or blood pressure level. So it's not just taking one garlic, and it's not just taking just a tip of cinnamon. It is more, there's more to it than just that. All right? Some persons have a big belly and they're working it off and it cannot move because they're diabetic and they didn't have it checked out. But there are other causes. There's also parasites. You remember, anybody know the old people or the granny who give them what? What you get before you go back to school? There is something to that madness. And it's not a madness, it's actually a truthness. You should detoxify the body. And I recommend you do it at least 4 times per year. Yes, with herbs. You have some aloe vera, I'm sure, around. And they used to use the cerci. Yes, there's a number of different things you can use to detox, even fruits. Different things you can do. For different persons, different detox works. For the worm, it's the papaya and the pumpkin seeds. Those play their role for getting the worm out. And that's important to do. All right? Please note for the diabetics, so whoever know any diabetic that tell you that, look here, it's where me bought my foot, it's where me get the cut from. They don't even know. So you have to do proper foot care. Whether or not you're diabetic or you're healthy, take care of your feet. Examine them. All right? Be aware for those persons taking medication, you can get a low blood sugar level under medication. Always have a sweet in your possession or a sweet fruit. That also can work. That is okay. And also have your eye examination. The different complications, retinopathy, the heart disease, the renal disease, the kidney shut down. Have to be on dialysis 3 times per week, 2 times per week. But guess what? God gave us herbs for it too, They're herbs. But are we willing to follow the processes? Are we patient enough? Because that's the other issue. You have had diabetes or high blood pressure for over 10 years, and within a week it should be corrected on the herbs. Wow. With the master physician, it can definitely be corrected in seconds. But are you seeking him earnestly during taking the herbs? That's also important. Once you're taking your medication, always bring God in the midst of working on you with that medication. Also, not because you need it, but because you don't want to have any side effects that is so unfavorable. right? So we don't want to react to it.
Blood pressure.
Pardon me?
What is the natural herb for blood?
So there are several. It depends on your stage. So as a natural doctor, the stage is important that you're at. The stage. So you have stage 1, 2, 3 different types. But you can start off with your garlic, your clove, etc. For the diabetics, you can start off with your cinnamon, with your string beans, with your cucumbers, juices, etc. It is a mean to help your body rid the cholesterol that aids in you having high blood sugar and pressure. Yes, the 4 values, remember what they are? The blood cholesterol, blood sugar, blood pressure, your body mass index, they all contribute to you having these diseases. It can use, but it's not the main thing I recommend for a person with blood sugar to have change. No. If that is what you're asking, no. It can use to help you balance, but that balance will take years. So what can we do to prevent diabetes? Who said it? Prevention is better than cure. What can we do to prevent diabetes? What is healthy eating? What is excess carbs? Breadfruit is good. What is she talking about over there? It means that, who know Roy G. Biv? Roy G. Biv. What is that? Nobody never. Awesome. Once you have all the colors of the rainbows, 2 servings per day, I am telling you, you're in excellent health in your vegetables and fruits that you will ingest. So that will help you have a balance. Just as simple as that. What are the colors of the rainbows? When you say them, though, tell me the vegetables and fruits that Jamaica have, not the international ones. Awesome! No, jackfruit is actually very healthy for you. Did you know that? Jackfruit can be used to do so many things. For those persons who think they're lacking any chicken, please get your jackfruit, season it up, jerk it, stew it, anyhow you want, and tell me how it tastes. Because I am sure it tastes like you're having some chicken. So,
And the seeds too.
seeds are
seeds can
awesome.
be cooked.
But for those who are diabetic, you can't do too much of the seeds, because the carbohydrate is too much for you. For the healthy people, oh yes, enjoy your seeds. You can blend it down into a smoothie. My mother loved to make her smoothie with jackfruit seeds. She cook them and blend them with her Sopogen and Malta. So you cannot say anything to her.
All right, before you move on, just piggyback on, you mentioned about the detoxing the body,
Uh-huh.
and you said that aloe vera is an excellent
Yes.
thing to use. I know that, and what I do sometimes is to soak it.
Yes, to get rid of the bitter taste.
So I soak it and then I'll take a shot on an empty stomach in the mornings. But what I've realized is that I may have taken too much at one point, and it started making me urinate often. So yes, it's natural and it's good, and it's something that God made for us to use, but moderation is key, right?
Temperance.
Is key. But can you tell exactly how much of that to take? I use, the medicine, the little round thing that comes in the medicine, when you buy medicine, you get the measuring cup. Right, so
Okay.
what I did was to full one of that, and I took it on an empty stomach, and it still made me go to the restroom often. So probably that's too much for me. So can you
Alright.
advise as to how much of it
My
to take?
advice on aloe vera can be used for so many different things. Stomach issues and also detox, which is the main one. But for your body weight, just estimating, you would need at least 8 inches of aloe vera. And I prefer to suggest you take it in the night and with a fruit. Some fruit to give it a little taste or a pep. So it could also be, pineapple or melon. Once you're not diabetic, that is. If you're diabetic, just go straight to your aloe vera and water. That is what you'd have to do. So 5 inches, you blend the gel only after soaking it. That part at the bottom, that green part, is what causes bitterness. It can also cause an allergic reaction, so you have to avoid it. So wash it properly and peel it properly before using it. This detox that with the aloe vera depends on what is happening to the person. It's not a one-size-fits-all with the aloe vera. Even though you can try something, you actually need to know that if you're toxic, having breakouts, having yeast, because it also can be used for persons with hemorrhoids, persons with yeast infections. It also helps with that. But it's a preparation. You make little capsule-sized pieces, freeze them, insert them, and of course with clean hands, clean body, before you're putting them in and on. For sunburn, aloe vera has so many uses, as I said. But for detox purposes, you need to drink it, and it's preferably in the night. That's when it gets to work.
For how long do you take the aloe vera for the detox?
So it depends on what's really happening to you. So I normally, if I'm going to do it, which I generally don't have anything else, I would maybe do just 3 nights, and that's it. For now, until the next 4 months, I do another 3 nights. So I implore you today, get your blood sugar under control, get your blood pressure under control, get your cholesterol in line, and get your weight on the right line. All right? So 1 Corinthians 3, verse 16 to 17. What are we saying here? Yes, verse 16 to 17. Really? Pastor, you didn't say that this morning? No, ye not. Sorry for calling you a pastor, but you delivered like a pastor did. So I had to. All right, so know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you. If any man defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy, for the temple of God is holy, which temple ye are. So that means we should take care. We shouldn't have any diabetes. We don't want God to come in body we're full of too much insulin. We don't want God to come in a body that's full of so much pressure. It's about to burst the vessels. Where are we inviting him in? We want him to come into a healthy body. But guess what? If we are not healthy, he didn't cut us off, He will direct our path and direct how we can become healthy. All right? We need to get I need this to be projected, please, this side, new start. We need to get a new start. New start. What is a new start? What is N? Anybody ever heard it before? Yes. How do we get nutritious meals? You remember Pastor said that not everybody who eating healthy. Yes, we need balanced diet, balanced meals. Why do we need balanced meals? We need protein, carbohydrates, magnesium, calcium, all of these. So when we're going to have our meals, ensure that there's some protein. It could be from peas, beans, or if you're a pescatarian, fish, and if you eat any other meat, it could be chicken or beef or goat, right? Okay, you're not getting me to go there. I support using what the Lord has provided on the land and not try to create too much from it that can cause you to end up with a cancer or other deficiencies in the long run. Whatever we eat should be giving our body some nourishment. So if you decide veg tongues, that's all right. But you need a protein. Make sure protein is on the plate. And you also need balanced carbohydrate, your vegetables. Now, this is something that a lot of people do. You must mix raw and cooked vegetables, you know. It's either you eat it raw or you eat it cooked. And when I say cook, you just stir it and turn it off. It should still be crunchy, and if it's not crunchy, you kill everybody. So you just eat it because you can eat it. I'm just telling you the facts. That is the facts. So when we cook out all the nutrients, it is now not helping our bodies anymore. So all the nutrients that should be absorbed will not be absorbed. Exercise. How much minutes we need? Wow, they tell you 30? How often? Every day. Do you know that you can do 5 minutes? But it's how you're doing it. So this type of exercise, give it all you've got for 5 minutes, pause, and then give it all you got again, pause, give it all you've got. That exercise actually helps you speed up metabolism and burn a lot of fat. So you see, 5 minutes. You can't find 5 minutes? Who here cannot find 5 minutes? My husband calls it lazy exercise because he does the whole 30 minutes, and he will do 5 days a week, 30 minutes. I tell you. So that's why he says I do lazy exercise. There's also another exercise called breathing exercise. Who knows how to do it? Anybody ever heard of it? It gets rid of high abdominal mass. High, what? Volume of fat on the abdomen. Who knows how to do it? So, while I like to demonstrate, it is actually from a feeling. You actually know when it is being done properly. When you inhale deeply and it goes below, you feel it right below the waistline. Try it now, please. Inhale, make sure you feel it goes down there. And then you slowly exhale. Tell me if you have felt it. That is the correct exercise. Who know that it existed? It's been there. Breathing exercise. But this exercise, you can do it as many times per day, and it helps you not only relax the body, it helps the blood pressure, it helps the stress levels, and it will allow you to come off the medication for those who are hypertensive. Oh, yes. But the number of time per day you need to practice more. The more, the merrier. All right? So you can sit at your desk and do it. You don't need to be standing. You can be seated. And just focus on deep breaths in. Wait until it gets there. You go out. All right? Water. We see the rain falling, so we have to We have to procure our water. There's also charcoal to help use, and there are filters to put on the pipe. And yes, water, they said to 6 to 8 glasses. It's not everybody can drink 6 to 8 glasses. No, it's your body weight that tells how much water you need. Your body weight will tell how much water you need. So if your BMI is elevated, you will need more water. All right? There's another technique how to drink water. It's not just chug it down. It's a sipping game. And guess what? There's another thing to it. It will lose its savor, you know? What helps? You have to add a little salt to every other one. Guess why? If you drink all this water, you know, wash out everything. It's not going to hydrate your body. You will be running to the restroom more frequently. So no, just take a pinch of your Celtic salt, of your sea salt, or your Himalayan salt. Add it to one of those bottles. And then have it for the, between your water intake. So that bottle can divide in 3. You're going to put the salt all in 1. And you're going to have that for the entire day. I'm going to come to you now. Or there's an alternative to it. Some people want to get rehydration salt because they want to skip this mix. Them can't bother putting no salt, so then we do the rehydration salt. Okay, this is the bottle, and I like, Kadeen, let my daughter look like Christmas. I wonder how those going to come out. But okay. Sir, could you go ahead with your question, please? Go ahead, I still answer.
Since you agree that I can ask it, let me do it. Have you ever met anyone with the correct cholesterol reading? Because I've never known of anybody who has tested cholesterol and it was correct.
Correct? My cholesterol level is within the normal limit.
Well, maybe you are the exception, but no, all the others have heard gone to
So
test
let me tell you
It's
something.
wrong.
My mother is afraid of needles, but I make sure she gets her blood tests yearly, and her cholesterol level is good. It's below 5.5. So yes, we have people. Mr. Henry, do you know your levels? Your cholesterol levels? Okay. Did you check them though? You have to get a complete blood test or just get a cholesterol. You'd have to go to the doctor or your health center. It's by blood. It's a blood test. Yes. Don't be like, Pastor, you can come to me. I'll ensure that it's a little bit more than a mosquito bite, but it will get done. Don't be afraid. But yes, sir, you can get your cholesterol. And there are some herbs, along with aloe vera, that help your cholesterol level to be reduced within 2 weeks. So if you want to know about that, you can also contact me for that information. As I told you, I can't tell you what amount of what based on your body weight, how long you've had it been happening, but for anybody in general, 14 days, your cholesterol level go into the value. All right? Any other questions? I'm located in St. Anne, right in the heart of Ocherous. So we are now on what? When you start, what is the S? Oh my gosh, and Jamaica have so much. But guess what? I'm meeting a lot of people with vitamin D deficiency. Mr. Henry, you know why? Too much AC. They go to work in the morning, come out in the evening. But guess what? The only thing I can tell you about the sun, after 11, the ultraviolet A and B rays, those are the cancer-causing rays, and we should avoid. But guess what? We don't have the whole of the morning, all before 11 a.m. So please, make use of what you have instead of taking vitamin D. All right? I mean, if you have to take it, you have to take it. No, but if you're getting enough sunlight, you will not be deficient. Remember the cholecalciferol process and the breaking down. Sunlight is needed to process it for your body to make it. More the bees. Bees are better. All right? These are good for immunity. So it keeps you from the coronavirus, the other viruses, the avian flu, which is going around now. So you see how our sunlight is important? Are we temperate? Please be temperate in all things. And I told you already, 2.5 cups of each of your vegetables or fruits of the rainbow colors per day. Guess what now? I don't have any place to farm anything, you know. So I was telling Mr. Henry today that we can share. You plant this month or this week and the other person plants. So when your crop, like my tomatoes, because I tried planting tomatoes and everything come in one time. So I had to go into work with a lot of bags and giving away. And then nobody to give me next. So I'd have to keep planting. So let us share and plant. Let us be a family in Christ. And share the little we have. I also had okra too. And want to see me giving away okra. Because when okra ready, you know, you cannot manage how them come up every second. But try and plant something. Plant something this year, this month, this week, if you have the space. I don't have anywhere but just concrete jungle. But for those who can, start planting and share. Share with others so we can keep the cycle going around so karma don't catch us.
Doc, what causes low blood count?
That question in general, there's several things that can cause a low blood count. If you're a female or a male, different causes. A female can have low blood count from just having a heavy menstrual cycle, not enough absorption of iron happening, can be a sickle cell, and so that trait alone come with a low blood count to it. So it's all in different contexts that would cause a low blood count. It could be parasites. Oh yes, there are some parasites that attach to the intestine and they consume blood. So one would have to have further investigation, interrogation to find out what is causing their low blood count. Different things now to build your blood count. If you stick to all the rainbow colors, you're good, but the greener ones are for blood. Anything green is for blood. Yeah. The only thing with the green things on your blood, they almost look alike, the DNAs. It's just the center different. So anything green, you can't be wrong, is good for your blood. Yeah man, color kale, all of them, spinach, broccoli, string bean, all of them is good for your blood. Air, do deep breathing, breathe in fresh air. The morning air is better because of how we have the transportation, the exhaust from the different vehicles, bikes, etc. So morning air is recommended. Just take some deep breaths, rest. Pastor, what did you tell them? Tell them again. Rest. We need to rest. And rest is physical and mental and spiritual. All right? So there is one left, and it's T. What are we doing? If we trust in God, what will happen? He will take care of you, me, everyone. So we need to always trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not to thine own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. All right? Anyone? So we're now closing. The different healthier food that I can suggest you feed on are the broccoli, spinach, the carrot, the orange, the bananas, the whole grains, the beans, and the nuts. Other foods can be incorporated. Sorrel, hibiscus, the chamomile. Who know another name for chamomile here? Anybody? Chamomile. Chamomile tea. Oh my gosh. Mr. Henry, do you know chamomile? This one is, what is it? But what is it? We have it in Jamaica. Nuff. My gosh. What they feed rabbits with? Anybody don't know it? Is it named chamomile and peg for trick you? Oh, so no, everybody in church now know how to calm their nerves because I just told them. And you can have it raw on with your vegetables cut up or steam. It is Spanish Needle. I could tell you that I had Auntie Janet, may her soul rest in peace. She was buying soursop seed because it named guanabana, and she ordered capsules and had them taken. And it never cheap, you know. But she had this big tree right in her yard front. So don't let the same thing happen to us, guys. Spanish Needle is what relaxes your nerves. It is what helps you relax. People feed it to their rabbits, so the rabbits them healthy. And we left unhealthy. You can steam it, you can put it with your green vegetables, you can make tea with it. Of course you can. So I'm sure that I might be one of the first to have given you all this information because most people don't come to any church to give you so much information. They tell you to come to their office to have a consultation. But when God gives you something to share with others, it is to share. It's not to keep to yourself.
It is not that I did not trust you, but I just looked on the Google machine and it's actually.
No, She's just explaining that she had to Google it because she didn't really believe that she passed it so much and didn't know it's just the Spanish Needle, which is chamomile. Oh yes, they put the different names and it might trick us because we don't know where to find it. So I'm telling you, in your kitchen, in your yard, right at your bus stop, you have a lot of herbs that can take care of your bodies. I see it abroad too, and it looks the same way. That is when I was not alerted to the fact that, this is really what I'm buying. So I've seen the same one abroad too. So they might have different variety and by country. Just like the, what's the name? With the purple color. Vervine, it looks different in the different countries too. Yeah, so you have to try to know what your country have. Because when I was studying the herbs, I had an issue in that I couldn't translate them to know what herb in Jamaica to use. And that was an issue for me. I was like, why no Jamaican is going after studying these things to know? Because we have sunlight, we have fresh air, they're growing these things in some greenhouses. How can they be healthy and not what we have here? So I deliberately tried to find the stuff right on our soil to share with you. Yes, I've seen it. Something look like a maca. It looked like a prickly. It almost looked like stinging nestle kind of thing. Yes. Yeah, I noted that too while I was doing the studies. What happened? Oh. So there are several herbs that we see them in the supermarket or we think that they're only from abroad and you're walking past them every day or feeding them to some animals. So it's important that we stay abreast. At this point, I'd like to tell you that your sorrel, your Jamaican sorrel, has a lot of power. It can also cure some diseases we have Yes, remember I said rainbow colors, you know. So if you stick to that, I'm really telling you, if you stick to these rainbow colors, to what we have in Jamaica, you don't have any disease to worry about. And also, of course, trust in God, because you know He is the master and author and finisher of everything. All right? I leave these with you today. Let us reflect on staying healthy, healthy body, healthy mind. What are we doing? Healthy soul, make that connection. Did we know where the other scriptures are from? Why are we walking by faith and not by sight? Because it's through faith that we might be saved, right? And in our disease, when we are diagnosed with a cancer, there's an Adventist now. What's her name? Deborah Williams. She wasn't an Adventist before. She's now a naturopath. And her story, if you have heard her story, she didn't have to do anything with us in the church. But breast cancer knocked at her door. And she now believed in God. She now started studying all our books. Yes, all our books. By the way, you know, I have some books for you today. I have them. I have some Adventist literature that I'm going to expose you to. They have different shakes in them. They have the different herbs in them. We can go to the Adventist bookstore. Look here, they're not paying me to share them with you. I'm just sharing them because what God said, we should care for each other. And so we can share. So if you can learn how to have a healthier alternative, and there's some literature that can help you to do so, I am okay in sharing it with you. All right, so I'll share some of these. They start at anywhere after page 20. I think that's where it should be. I can give you direction with that afterwards. Are there any other questions? Let me demonstrate. All right, these are what they look like. They're from our conferences. And I'm going to tell you where to find the books that I refer to. Pages 32, straight backwards. They carry all our Adventist books that speak to health. They come with different recipes. They give you an example of how to make these non-cooked meals so they're not placed on any stove. They make them palatable, tasting good. And look here, your healthy meals don't need to be boring. Don't need to be boring. Can taste good and can be healthy, all right? But they have to be balanced, so they must have enough protein and carbohydrates in them. All right, guys? Thank you for having me this evening, and thank you for participating. Any further questions? You want to go? Oh, you want a book? Can I have mine? All right, if anyone wants to reach me, I also practice telemedicine, so you can do WhatsApp call, video calling, otherwise you can get your herbs in your backyard or from my office, just the same. If you know of anyone, there's a special just now, anyone with breast cancer or ovarian cancer, I can promise them at least 3 treatments, 80% off with herbs. All right. So it's not only I'm working in collaboration with some, the producers for the herbs. No, cancer you can have reversal. How you do it, you have your body heal itself. So I didn't help you, the herbs didn't help you, but your body help you. Because what you're gonna do, you're gonna get a mental balance and also a hormone balance is from your herbs. Yes, I have the formula for polycystic ovarian syndrome in a herb, two capsules per day. You can have that. If you choose, you can also try to find the herbs around. But there's one problem with it. Two of them is hard to extract because they're not water soluble. So when you boil them, it doesn't give you justice. So it's best, to get a concentrated formulation. And after you get resolution, you continue on it. That's how it would be for that. There have been persons with prostate cancer who got complete reversal by their blood work and their CT scan. Get access to those. So page 32 is where you would find the different literatures that has all those in it. All right. That's all. Thank you, guys.
Okay. All right, we want to thank Dr. Anderson. Let's give her a round of applause for her presentation this afternoon. I don't know if there is anyone with a burning question that you would like to ask, so Dr. Anderson can address it. If not, we will wrap up, right? Anyone with a question? Yes. So in case you have any further question or you need further information, I have Doc's number, telephone contact, I can share with you. All right, so we want to thank you. I want to thank you on behalf of the Health Ministries Department for coming out today and for participating in the day's program. I'm sure we learned something. Amen? Valuable information that we can use throughout our lives. And Doctor, I want to say thank you personally for coming, and I'm sure you'll be back, right? You won't turn down another appointment, right? Once you are available. All right, so thank you. And that's it for Let's Talk Health this afternoon. We're saying thanks.